Most of you guys know my background and my story, but I want to give you a little context so that I can tell you, you understand the background behind what I want to share with you today. So if you aren't familiar with me, I'm Dr. Lori Dottie. I was in education for almost 30 years. I started teaching public school right out of college, went on to get a master's and a PhD, and taught at universities in Texas, and ultimately rose to the rank of vice president of a very large college here in Dallas, Texas. And that career escalation, while I absolutely loved teaching, it was a very stressful, time intensive, extremely difficult 30 years for me. I was stressed out. I worked a ton of hours. I had ever growing responsibilities, like many of the women that I know who are in busy, high pressure careers, whether that be in healthcare and education, in real estate and finance, in being a physician and in the medical field, you name it. There are tons of women out there who are stressed out. And part of what happens with us and what happened with me is that over those years, I put my health on the back burner. My weight continued to increase, and I was constantly looking for a way to try to manage the weight. And so I yo-yo dieted. I got stressed out, completely stressed out. And even when I was dieting or when my weight was more at a normal level, if you will, I was extremely unhealthy. I was sleep deprived. My hormones were out of whack. I thought that I knew how to eat healthy, and that's a whole nother topic because I absolutely really did not, like most of the women that I talked to. But over the course of those years, that all took a real toll on my body. And when I got into my 40s, to fast forward a whole lot, when I got into my 40s, I decided that I absolutely could not live this way anymore. I had grown kids, one still in high school. I had a grandchild by this time. And I knew, and I had my husband, who's like the most awesome guy in the world. He may be out there watching. But, when you're at that age, when you get into your 30s and 40s and beyond, you start to think about life in a little bit different way. And I realized that I probably had fewer years ahead of me than I did behind me. And so losing weight became more about, or as much about, definitely in the beginning, as much about being healthy and getting the weight off in a very healthy way and reducing my stress so that I could just be here longer, so I could be around to watch my grandson grow up, so I could watch my kids get married, and so that I didn't get out of the bed and creak like an old lady. And from a mental perspective, I was freaking dying, you guys, under the stress, and I needed some release from that. So I went on a quest to find something that would ultimately work for me, because you guys, just like many of you, I had done the Weight Watchers, the Nutrisystem. If you remember way back with, what's his name, Richard Simmons, I had done every packaged program, big industry, celebrity endorsed app, you name it, I had done it. And when I did it, I thought that it worked. And I know many of you will tell me this. Well, I did Weight Watchers and it worked. And so I've done it 5 times. The fact of the matter is it didn't work. None of those things worked for me, because here I was in my 40s having the same freaking problem that I had had all of those years. So I wanted to find something that was healthy. I knew the tricks to losing weight. And if you really know my story, you know that I suffered from eating disordered behaviors in my 30s. So I knew the tricks to get the weight off, you guys. But for me, at that point, like most of you, it was about living longer, not just fitting into a certain size gene. So I wanted to find something that was healthy, that I could get the weight off and have energy and feel confident and feel good and stop feeling like I was going to work and putting on this face of confidence, but on the inside I was crying. I was trying on 10 different outfits before I went to work, and had clean clothes in the pile in the closet in my floor, and oftentimes shed some tears in dressing rooms. That shit had to stop. And unfortunately, when I went out looking for help and support and what to do, because while I thought that I knew how to eat healthy, evidently I didn't, because it wasn't working when I tried to do it on my own. What I found when I went on this search was that there was nothing out there for us. There are lots of diets, there are lots of programs, there are lots of apps now, there are lots of all of these things. There are tons of quick fixes out there. There are even injections and diet pills and surgeries. But there was nothing for women like me, women like the women who are now my clients, women like us who are busy, professional, often highly educated, intelligent women who are ambitious and driven. And when I talked about this in my stories, when I hear people and when people tell you, well, you just have to do it, you just have to make time, I want to punch a bitch in the throat when she talks like that, because my life is not some 22-year-old's life that they go to the gym whenever they feel like it, and then they go to their little job, and when they leave their little job, they leave everything at their little job. They didn't understand, and none of those big industry programs even were built to understand our high pressure, high stress, extremely long hours that we put in these careers. And so none of that fit. None of it was going to fit into my schedule. So I settled, quite frankly, on something that was close enough that would help me to get started. And then I began educating myself in nutrition, in personal training and exercise, specifically in female weight loss, in hormone imbalances, and all of the things that I needed, and figuring out ways that I could make them fit into my busy lifestyle, because going to the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning was just not going to fucking happen, you guys. And please put your earbuds in if your kids are around. It just was not realistic, and it was not going to be sustainable. If I lost the weight doing that, it was just going to come back, and I knew that. So I found something that was kind of a workable solution for the moment, and then I added all of the things that I learned and how I was able to figure out how to package it to fit into a busy professional's life, a woman like me, women like you who follow me. And then over the course of several years, women started asking me, what are you doing? And I started helping them kind of on the side. Fast forward again another 6.5 years, and I decided that education and higher education and in particular the place where I was working, we no longer aligned in terms of values and ethics, and I decided that I didn't want to be part of higher education anymore, and that my purpose was more aligned in helping women who were like me, overweight, unhealthy, putting ourselves on the back burner, taking care of work and everything else in our lives. Instead of taking care of ourselves, I wanted to help women like I had been to find the solution and solve the problem like I had solved it. And so I spent a lot of time talking to my husband about this. We spent a lot of time in prayer, and we decided that I would leave education for good, hang up that hat, and I would move into a different kind of teaching. And that is what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. You may have seen me post and talk about and show you my client testimonials about women who have joined my 5 to Thrive program and been part of my client group and the amazing successful results that they've gotten. And what I want to talk to you about, because I haven't done it in so long, is exactly that. What I have. I designed a 90-day program, a 12-week program specifically for busy professional women, and it helps you to lose 20 or more pounds and learn to identify and manage just bone-killing, soul-crushing stress. That, in a nutshell, is what we do. And every step of the way over those 90 days, I coach you through implementing those practices, those methods that I have created, and I give you an opportunity to practice them as you're losing weight, as you're building confidence, as you're gaining energy, and as you are standing in a presence that you just feel better. That's one of the best ways I know how to describe it, is you feel better, and all of it fits into your busy schedule. It's not about prepping for hours, and it's not about spending an hour in the gym every day. That is crap. It does not work for us, and that's not what I teach my clients. What it can do for you is It can teach you how to eat in a way that helps you to lose weight. What to eat, how much to eat, what combinations of foods to eat. I will teach you how to exercise in short periods of time that are super effective so that you actually see a result from them. How many times have you heard, or maybe you've done this yourself, how many times have you had friends who say they've joined a gym and they go to the gym an hour a day, 6 days a week or 7 days a week, and 6 months down the road you go, she doesn't look any different. That's because they don't know what the hell they're doing and they're wasting their time. That is usually more of a social event than it is anything else. And what I've done is designed exercise that you can do at home with a method that is very, very short in terms of the length of time, 3 days a week, but it is so effective it gets you results. I will put some client photographs and testimonials under this live video so that you can see evidence of that. The other thing that it does and why it works is because marrying the food and the fitness piece with a very important comprehensive key, and that is all the other stuff that goes on in life that causes our weight and our health to be put on the back burner and to be negatively impacted. We unpack and process through all of that. And I can't go through the litany of things that we address, but in this portion of the program, I help women with how to be more consistent when they lack motivation, what to do, how to handle emotional eating, what that's about, where it comes from, and strategies to implement for it. Snackers, those late night snackers. We talk about your relationship with food and how that impacts your weight and your health. And all of those kinds of things we process through, and I help you with that. And you heal in a way that those stop being obstacles for your weight. You no longer find yourself 6 months down the road or a year down the road going, I have another 20 pounds that I lost and I've gained and I've lost and I gained and now I need to lose it again. The reason that it is extremely different from anything else that's out there on the market are a couple of things. One, my approach to eating is a method that I have designed, the SHE method, that is not a diet. It is not about deprivation. It is about teaching you a way to eat for life, where you will initially lose weight in a healthy way, and beyond the 90 days, you will eat that way for the rest of your life so that you can maintain your health and your weight. The second way that it's different is my exercise method that I've talked about, the CPR method that I have designed that is extremely short, 20 to 25 minutes a day, 3 days a week. That's all my clients work out. But it starts where you are. It's customized. So it starts where you are, and it progresses as you lose weight and as you gain strength. So you don't stop being able to make progress with my workout method. It's a very short period of time, but you continue to make progress beyond the 12 weeks that you spend with me as I coach you. The third and huge way that it's different is that comprehensive component. You learn to master what I call the unspoken truths of being a busy professional female. And that is all the other kinds of things that I talked about in terms of consistency and emotional eating and difficult discussions and how to manage, quite frankly, the stress at work that we won't get into, but we know happens and oftentimes is prejudicial and discriminatory against women, but they get away with it because they do it in a way that you can't do anything about it. We'll just leave it at that. We talk about all of those kinds of things that are very specific to women. The big way that it is different is all of those big industry programs are going to address food and fitness in some form or fashion and in varying degrees because they want you to get some result. And you're going to be thrilled when you go to Weight Watchers and you lose 20 pounds. You're going to be so excited. You're going to go out and tell everybody how Weight Watchers works. You can plug in any big name program and it's the same thing. That is their business model. Get you some results by addressing food and fitness. The problem with that is, and the difference in what I do, is they don't address the root issues that have created the problems with the food and the fitness for you. And so as soon as you leave that program and you go out on your own, all of those problems bubbling under the surface are still there. So yeah, you got a great result, But how many times, and you can put in the comments, how many times have you done those programs, those diets, and as soon as you go off of the diet, you gain all of that weight back and more? And if you haven't experienced this, I guarantee you have 5 girlfriends or family members who are busy professional females who have experienced it. You could probably think of their names right now. We don't do that. What I teach women to do, and what I have built into this program, is to solve the root causes of those issues. So your food and your fitness and what you learn in terms of the approach to eating and the method for exercising that I give you, they work forever because we have processed through and solved the real issues behind why you're overweight and why you're unhealthy and why you're stressed the F out. That's why it's really, really different. So here's what you should do. If you have identified with any part of this story, or you sit there listening to me and you go, oh my God, that's me. I've yo-yo dieted. I'm stressed the F out. I cannot take this anymore. I have to do something about this. Or, you know what? The things aren't really bad health-wise yet for me, but every female in my family has died by the age of 60 from heart attack or heart disease. Cancer runs in my family. I can't keep doing this, and I want to be around for my kids and my grandkids. If you identify with any of those feelings, or you're just sick and damn tired of going in the closet and looking at a whole rack full of clothes that you can't wear and feeling uncomfortable every day in your own skin, here's what you should do. You can either put a comment under this live video, and I will message you right back within 24 hours, or you can send me a private message because not everybody wants to put a comment, and I totally understand that. Message me in a private message, one word, me. Just one word, me. And I will respond and give you more information about my program. It's not like we're getting married. We're having a conversation. So don't worry about sending that message. Don't be afraid. Don't think that there's any hook at the end of that line. It is me offering to have a conversation with you about what's going on with you. And if I can help you, I may invite you to be part of the 5 to Thrive program and come on as a client and solve the problems. If that's not a good fit for you, I will tell you, and we can still have a conversation about what's going on with you, and even a conversation feels better. So that's what I'm offering to you guys today. But if you are seriously interested, you need to right now open your messenger and send me the word me, because I'm going skiing next week, you guys, with a dear friend, Lisa, who may very well be on this live. And I have very limited spots to have discovery calls, which is a 20 to 25 minute call with people who are seriously interested in getting help. I have very limited spots between now and the time that I'm leaving to go to New York. In fact, I think I only have about 3 or 4 spots left in which I can have those conversations. So I want to reserve those conversations for people who are absolutely very interested in changing the way their life has been going. So thank you for listening. I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend.